Cineworld is closing the U.S. Regal Theaters, 536 locations in the U.S., and I believe they're closing them in the United Kingdom as well. They are going dark Thursday. That leaves more than 7,000 movie theater screens going dark. The news comes after the upcoming James Bond movie, No Time to Die, has been confirmed to be shelved until 2021. Now, if you guys remember, I know March was 2 years ago, but if you guys remember, back in like early March, No Time to Die was the first movie to be delayed. And that was I even think before the NBA shutdown, because that's kind of like my starting point for when people really started to pay attention for coronavirus to a coronavirus. I keep saying that is when the NBA shut down and Tom Hanks and his wife got it that day. That midday in mid-March, and it was like March 11th or something.
That was I can relate to. That was when everything just started shutting down here in Illinois, here closer to where I live as well. It was all in that 2-week period. It was freaking insane. I will tell my grandchildren about those 2 weeks in March.
Yeah, 100%. I still go back and think about it. No Time to Die, though, was the first movie to be delayed, though, because of the coronavirus pandemic, and it's kind of shocking at the same time, not with the Regal Theaters closing. They were open less than 2 months. My heart breaks for the 40,000 employees that have been furloughed. Like, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, 40,000 employees furloughed, and No Time to Die now joins a litany of alleged blockbusters like A Quiet Place Part 2, Black Widow, Wonder Woman 1984, and Candyman that are now coming out in 2021. This is the first time I'm going to say this on the show, at least. This is the first time I'm going to say this. But the path forward for movie theaters is grim. Very grim. And it's gotten bad enough that you have filmmakers like Martin Scorsese who are calling for Congress to bail out theaters. Good luck. We ain't even have a chance at another stimulus check until after the election. Good luck. But consumer confidence about going to theaters isn't going to magically increase on January 1st, 2021. We've all said that we can't wait for this year to be over, but it's not going to go back to normal on January 1st. Mm-hmm. No way, no how. I keep making the joke that at 11:59 on December 31st, on December 31st, it's going to be, the clock's going to go from 11:59 to 11:60. I keep making that joke. Like, this is Hotel California until further excuse me. This is Hotel California until further notice, truthfully. But it's sad. It really is. I am now at the point of, it's taken a long time to get here, maybe out of blind optimism, but I am deeply worried about the future of movie theaters. I'm going to toss it over to you, Joe. Your thoughts on Regal Theaters going dark starting tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. It's sad. My heart really does go out to the, what was it? 40,000 Regal employees and the 5,000 in the UK. I actually saw a post about this on Twitter. It's a picture of Robert Downey Jr. at the end of Iron Man 1. He's like, the truth is, and then he goes on this whole like meme at the bottom. But it's very true, and it talks about how, like, you know, going to the movies is about just, you know, the movies. It's about, you know, helping like 150,000 people earn their living. It's about helping the disabled, seniors, and first-time job holders stay employed. And, like, yeah, it just hurts to think, like, those people who, you know, were using this as a, you know, either as experience, just little income while being old, or, you know, even the disabled employees, you know, we're using this as an easy way to make money. And I've seen plenty of them work at theaters. So, yeah, my heart just goes out to them all. Like, my stepbrother used to work at a movie theater, so, you know, I was actually, like, running into a ton of his coworkers all the time when I went to go to the theater to visit him or even go see free movies. So, I mean, they don't work there anymore, but, I mean, some of those people just still come to my mind that I know were still there. It just sucks in general. It's terrible for people to lose a job, especially in a thing that we're in now, especially like you just brought up, that we're not getting a second stimulus check to help out, especially people in this situation right here. So, yeah, it's just very sad. You know, it's just another thing that's on top of 2020 that just depresses me.
Dominic, your thoughts?
Yeah, this was something that was in the back of our minds as soon as this started hitting in earnest in March, April, May, June. and we're just trying to put it off, waiting for a miracle, waiting for things to improve, really beyond the theater's control. Not just with Regal, but like a couple, I think last week, 30,000 people got laid off at Disney. I think like 9,000 in Orlando alone, part-time union workers, according to a local newspaper from Orlando. And it just goes to show how vulnerable our entire economy is, because it's service and entertainment. That's what it is. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but when it's, when you have a pandemic that prevents people from grouping up from groups of, 3 or more, or whatever the magic number is that arbitrarily chooses whatever, but whatever it is, could Regal have done more to prepare for disaster? Because no one could have anticipated this, but maybe they could have made adjustments to blunt the effects. Just kind of that rainy day scenario, or just trying to be lucky with good business moves. I really can't think of anything, because it's the whole point of theaters is to be physically present at a movie theater. Yeah. Anything I can think of, we just have to be like, have a rainy day fund, or like good employee benefits or whatever, and like that's just like down to like union stuff and like labor stuff. But in terms of like what Regal could have done as a business moves, I can't think of much, because it's the pandemic. It's your worst. It's the secret enemy that was our worst enemy, that no one except a few crazy people, and they are now justified crazy people. We're calling the apocalypse on. So we're here now, and it sucks. And this is just this was the conversation that the three of us were secretly dreading, back in April and May. So to be a downer.
No, I was gonna add on to that too. It was bound to happen, because theaters had no way to adapt to this, and there's very few theaters that did. There's 2 by my house that turned their parking lots into drive-in theaters. But like not every movie theater can do that, because some movie theaters are attached to malls. Some movie theaters,
that was the last hope.
Yeah, like
some was drive-in theaters.
Yeah, like some movie theaters like don't have a big enough parking lot really to do something like that. The one by my place, like they have a huge section where like their IMAX screen is at, so they can use that giant wall where behind it inside the building is the IMAX screen. And they're able to use that as like basically their entire background. The other theater does the same thing too. It's an AMC and a Marcus theater, but like the Cinemark by my house and the Classic Cinemas by my house, just like they're trying to stay open as long as possible, and like, well, I can probably sense that the same thing's going to happen to them eventually.
Yeah, I have no idea when the hell I'm going to go back to a movie theater, but it's going to take, I think for all of us, I think at least for the 3 of us, it's going to take a vaccine. It's going to take a successful vaccine. And if you guys are anything like me, I don't want to go down too far in this rabbit hole, but it ties into when you're going to feel comfortable going back, I don't know, to like concerts or theaters and the like, or sporting events and stuff. It goes back to the fact where it's like, I'm not going to rush out and get the first vaccine that becomes available, because it's going to be like mob mentality, number one, to try to get the damn thing. You think Black Friday lines are bad, trying to get this thing is going to be something else. And I don't really like Black Friday.
It's that one
scene.
So
that's problem.
It's that one scene in every apocalypse movie where the government is handing out like rations, and then eventually people will start like crowding the truck, and they'll like turn it over. We're here. Like this is where we're at, and it's real fun. So yeah, as you said, a successful vaccine, one that takes time to deploy across the country for what kind of a national herd immunity, and one that is actually, here's the kicker, one that is actually received by the public. Because if people are lying about their masks, lying about their hand washing, lying about this and that, they're going to be lying about their vaccines. They're going to be lying. They're going to refuse vaccines. I'm going to be honest. I got my first flu shot in years, because I was like, hey, I'm a young guy. I don't need the flu shot. No, man. This is what it is. I can't afford to get sick. None of us can. So get your flu shot while we're at it. Jeez.
No, thank you. You took the words out of my mouth. I'm getting mine this weekend. Because I don't want to. It was like a tricky dance. I get mine every year, truthfully, and it's a tricky dance, because I wanted to get it early in September, but it's like they say I usually get it the first or second week in October, because you want to get it a little bit later. But I'm like, at the same time, given the way this year's panning out, it's like, are they going to have a run on them? Are they going to still be available? It's like a tricky dance on that.